Okay, so what you've actually got here is, rather than the tables vertical like there will be on a Hegarty, I'm doing it horizontally. And the way that you are going to answer all of these questions is done by what's known as substitution. So what Hegarty is going to do is it's going to give you a couple of these numbers and you need to figure out the ones that are missing. Okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to attempt these, and literally it doesn't matter what number you get given, you'll be able to do it. Okay? So this is actually very similar to what you were doing before on sequences, okay? Except you have just started off going 1, 2, 3, but this is going to go 0, -1, -2, -3. It's literally the exact same thing, and you were used to say 2n plus 1. This is y equals 2x plus 1. So we're literally graphing, not a linear sequence, but this is a linear line, a linear equation. Now what that means is straight line on a graph, which is what you're actually doing. Okay, by constructing this, you're going to get an x and a y value that you can use as a coordinate to draw a graph. So the way that I want you to do this, and it is always easier if I start off from 0, I do the positives, and then you'll see the pattern that's going to follow. So if y equals 2x plus 1, these are my x values, I need to work out what my y value is. So what I'm going to do is I put y is equal to 2x plus 1, but I'm going to substitute, and substitute even in football, you take out something, you put something else in. So I'm going to take out this x and I'm going to replace it with one of these. So if I do start off with 0, 0 plus 1. Okay, so all I've done is I've replaced the x with the 0. So 2 times 0 is 0. So all I'm left with is the 1. So that means when x equals 0, y is equal to 1. If I do the same thing, if I do y equals 2x plus 1, except this time I put in the 1 for the x. So 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1, I'm left with 3. So when x is equal to 1, 2 is equal, when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 3. Okay? And if I put 2 in there, instead, now I'm just putting the 2 in the brackets. This just means 2 times 2. 2x just means 2 times x. So 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1, and that is equal to 5. So that will be 5. And you can start to see a pattern. Now if you remember from linear sequences, 2n basically means that you were going up to every single time. 2x means, look at this, we're going up to every single time, and we're just adding 1 on. So 2 times 3 is 6, add 1 is going to be 7. So we're going up 1 every single time, and we can do that and go backwards to figure out what these ones are. So if I go down 2, I go down to -1. If I go down 2, I've gone to -3. If I go down 2, I can go to -5. Okay? Now if, as you can see, we're going down in 2's every single time. If you are unsure, you can always just plug one of these numbers in if you just want to check it. However, what I suggest is do the positive ones first, and then you start to see the sequence. Now, this one here, I'm literally just going to do it in exactly the same way. Okay? Do a couple first that are positive, and then find the sequence. Now, we've got 5 minus 3x here. So y equals 5 minus 3x. Okay, so you've got to be careful. We're going to be using negative numbers in this one. Okay, so again, I'm going to start with 0. So I get 5 minus 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is, no, it's just 0. So that is just 5. Okay, now if I've got 1 in there, so 5 minus 3x, 3 times 1. So I'll replace the x with 1 this time. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And there we go. And if I put the 2 in, so 5 minus 3x, 5 minus 3 times 2. So this is 5 minus 6, and that is equal to negative 1. So as you can clearly see here, we're going down 3 each time. So this would be negative 4. And then if I go back the way and do the reverse, this is going to be 8, 11, and 14. Okay? And just if you want to check one, I can check this one here. So y is equal to 5 minus 3x, and I'll replace the x with negative 3 just to check. So 5 minus 3 times negative 3. So we got 5 minus, now 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So I've got 5 take away negative 9. Now when you take away a negative number, that becomes a positive. And that becomes 14. Okay, so like I said, if you work with the positive ones first, you then don't have to worry about the negative values as much. Okay, but it's always good to use one every so often just to check you're doing the right thing. So we'll go through this one with you as well. Just because it's got a bit more negatives and you can just see what I do. So here we've got y is equal to negative 3x minus 3. And we start off with 0, so we get negative 3 times 0, take away 3. That bit is just 0. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. So we get negative 3. So when y, x is equal to 0, y is equal to negative 3. Okay, now I'm going to put 1 in there. So y is equal to negative 3x minus 3. Negative 3 times 1. So negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Take away 3. Now, be careful. This is not negative 3 take away negative 3. This is negative 3 take away 3. There's a slight difference between what happened over here and what's happening here. This is just negative 3, and then we're going down another 3. So this is negative 6. Okay, if it helps to draw a little number line, you can do. But what this is basically saying is if we're at negative 3, I'm then taking away another 3, and then going back. So y is equal to negative 3x minus 3, and I'm going to put 2 in this time. So negative 3 times 2. Now negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. And negative 6 take away 3. We've got the same situations we had here. So if we're at negative 6, and I take away another 3, I'm going to get to negative 9. And you can see the pattern that is now beginning to develop. So here we'd have 0, adding, going, if I'm taking away 3 that way, I'm adding 3 going this way, and we'd end up with that. Now this one, we could always just check. So y equals negative 3x take away 3. If negative 3, if that was minus 1, negative 3 times minus 1 is 3. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 take away 3 is just 0. So I know that that works. Okay, now I know this is quite a long video, but hopefully you'll see exactly what I'm doing by putting in the x value, putting in whatever number is here into the equation to then get a value out of it. I'm seeing a pattern and I'm continuing on that pattern. Okay, so good luck.